nightmare situations where people are like, I want this exact one again. Hi guys, what's going on? Here I am doing the thing. I actually honestly have come to the conclusion that I need to fucking do these things, because if I don't, I start getting really insane. Like, I mean, maybe not insane, but I start just being really fucking weird about how I feel and what I'm doing. And it has occurred to me that as I've progressed in my life, that there's this thing that's happening now where it's like the more thoroughly able to modify my mood and change how I feel, which is like, you know, like the actions we take throughout our day is what changes how we feel and does the best job at it. The less I do those things, the more it fucks me up. And really what that means is that it's not fucking me up more. What it really means is that I spent decades of time not realizing how fucking hateful and angry and what a bad and negative fucking mood I was in most of the time. And I can, with some level of accuracy, definitely speak on that, because I know that when I look at my actions back in the day and the way I talked, the way I thought, I was a fucking negative person. And I mean, that's okay. It's not a good place to stay, and all of us, you know, have those struggles. But like, look, I know that when I go to the gym, I feel better about myself. Like, I feel much better. There's no question about that. I feel better when I do that shit. And yet, I still have to convince myself to do it a lot of times. But what's even more strange about it is when I don't, my like biggest inclination afterwards is like, I fucking hate everything for like the rest of the fucking day. And that's not healthy. But what I've realized is that like the longer I spend not doing the things that I need to fucking do in my life, the more it fucks me up when I don't do it. You know, it's just like once we know better, we don't have excuses any longer. We can't, like, in all honesty, say, oh, well, I didn't know. And if you do know and you still give excuses, you'll find that the more often you give excuses, even when you do know, the more you start to get to the point where like it actually really almost like hurts to give excuses and pretend like you don't know. So, the moral of the story here is we need to figure out what works for us. Everybody's different. Everybody's way different. For me, some of the things that work best for me, like art, man, like making something. I have to be in the act of creation at all times, because if I don't, I'm literally in the act of hating my life, which is not healthy, because I have every reason to love my life. But again, this is just a matter of like how thoroughly I'm willing to look at myself at any given time. Is it kind of interesting to watch me paint in reverse there? Mm-hmm. Because dude, we can't see our own ears, you know. That's a phrase I use a lot, but I think that, you know, because I took such a long time to understand so many of the phrases and turns of phrase that I heard all the time, I like to drive things home over and over and over and over again. Because what I'm trying to say for real is that we have massive shortcomings that are usually only visible to other people, because, well, it's hard to look at ourselves like that. We have to be objective about it. And so here's the sad part, though, is that these shortcomings that you're allowing to live inside of you instead of taking action on the things that you know you need to do are what's fucking you up the most. And when I say fucking you up, I mean like keeping you from doing basic necessity kind of shit, like take care of yourself, keep jobs that you need to keep, be willing to go above and beyond for your family, you know, involve yourself in things that are actually helping you rather than hurting you. But this is because we know when we aren't acting like a fucking good person. We actually are well aware of that. And our inability to act like the person we know we are makes us feel bad. Then we feel bad, and so we want to fucking seek something else out to make us feel better, like, you know, watching TV, you know, doing drugs, doing whatever the hell it takes for us to try to feel slightly better than how we feel when we're not living up to be our best selves. And that calls into contrast one of, I think, the most profound things that you need to think about as a human being, period. And that is that every minute we spend not following our calling, no matter what that is, if it's something just as simple as being a mom or being a dad or you know, having, you know, like a house that you want or a business or whatever. Every second we spend not fucking chasing our calling is a second we spend in pain. Every second we spend chasing that stuff, what's up, Logan? We spend another second growing and building what we want. And our brain knows that, okay? So if we don't respect somebody that lies a lot and never follows through on their word, we need to keep in mind that we should definitely put our own selves into that exact same category. If we lie to ourselves all the fucking time and are not willing to look at the fact that that's going to affect our self-esteem, well, you're probably going to live in a fucking really miserable life, which is hence why we see so many grown adults with lives that most people in third world countries would fucking kill to have are wandering around here. What's up, Brad? Love you, man. That we have people wandering around with lives that most people in a third world country would kill to have. You know, our worst day is somebody else's best day that they'll never fucking see. And because of that, you know, it makes me call into question, like, it makes me really think, like, why is that? What is making us so much like that, man? It's because we don't have to fight to live anymore. I know it sounds kind of weird, but since it's so convenient, we can basically skate through life, putting in almost no effort, and still manage to live a decent life, if not a fulfilling life, at least a decent one. We don't ever get that sense of pride that you get from just really crushing something out that was crazy hard. Life doesn't thrust, you know, life or death situations on us the same way it did as a species, you know, 100,000 years ago. But it is constantly putting choices in front of us that we know. Like, every time you think, hey man, I need to eat better, and you don't, you just gave yourself permission to do it again and again and again and again and again. And eventually, even though you might not be saying this is one of the things that's weird to me, because we talk about self-respect and self-love, but people that love you don't lie to you. So when you lie to yourself, you don't love yourself. And when you get lied to by yourself, you don't love the person that's lying to you. Kind of a mind fuck, but I hopefully that makes sense a little bit. If we don't learn to follow through on our actions, we're gonna fucking be miserable our whole lives. And even worse than that, we're gonna make other people miserable around us, because when you're doing that kind of shit, man, you don't like having it brought attention to you. You don't like seeing other people do well. It literally, it like tickles that part of your brain. It makes you want to feel jealous or angry about the fact that somebody else is doing better than you. And all of us struggle with those feelings when we're not constructing our best reality, you know. And I've been having some struggles with learning how to motivate some people in my life recently. You know, some people around me, and I realized that I was expecting myself out of a lot of people who are not me, and that's important to note anyway. But you know, I realized that there's a lot of people out here, including myself, that continuously forego doing the crazy, hard, difficult things. I gotta stop doing that, guys. We really have to stop doing that. It turns out that the things that are the most difficult have the most meaning. And if you don't believe me on that, when I challenge you to tell me that you've had a time in your life when something very meaningful happened that wasn't directly correlated with some type of uncomfortability or pain. And if you can tell me that, I would be interested to know, because even if it was a good time that you remember and it reminds you to have good times with family and this, that, and the other, I would wager that you know that because you lost somebody else that was important. So your grief is contrasting the fact that maybe you didn't feel like you put in enough effort. Maybe you didn't feel like you did enough, or this, that, or the other in that given situation. And so, like, you know, one of the things for me is that I have committed, for example, to not printing, but to drawing every tattoo I do forever now onto people. And it's scary, even though I'm very confident about it, you know, the way I present myself. It doesn't make it less scary in the moment, man. Like, every time I get ready to do this, I'm like, there's this like little voice in the back of my head that's like, I don't know if you can do this, man. But what's happened is that I've done it enough times now. I've done the hard thing in life enough times now where I'm starting to get to the point where it's like, yeah, you can, you a fucking savage, dog, let's do this. But that happens because I've survived and done enough of the hard things that it no longer scares me anymore to know that something's going to be hard. I just have that momentary like bit of anxiety where I'm like, oh man, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then that self-talk kicks in. But you get that self-talk by consistency. You get that self-talk by attacking the things that you need to be doing in your life. And what I want to encourage you to consider is that I believe in you. So why the fuck don't you? And the reason why is because you're lying to yourself. It's because you're not giving yourself the credit you deserve to follow through. If you consistently don't follow through on stuff, today's your day. Because I'm calling you out. I want you to take action on one thing today that you've been waiting for and haven't done because you're afraid of the results, you're anxious about not knowing exactly how something might play out because you just literally don't feel like it. I don't really care what the reason is. I just care that you make some action on do this thing that you've been waiting on doing and know you've needed to do. If that's start a business, fine. If that's spend some more time with your kids, that's fine. If that's quitting drugs, that's fine. I'm here to tell you that there's people out there right now that have been in much worse positions than you are and are currently crushing it right now and living their best life because they just believe they could. And, you know, sometimes it takes a little kick in the ass to realize that we are more in control of our lives than we want to be. Because if we really wanted to be, we'd be fucking absolutely getting out there and mashing this shit in there and just putting in work as hard as we could all the time. But most of us are actually, it's almost like we're scared of succeeding, you know, and that's because you've lied to yourself so much that you have this paradigm set up in your head where you think that if you succeeded, somehow this paradigm you've built up of yourself of being a loser or being somebody that's not worth your own effort, intelligence, time, energy, insert whatever thing you want to say here to kind of make that all make sense. You just chose to believe that you ain't worth it, that you ain't worth loving, you ain't worth attention and time. And that's a fucking lie. Straight up. I know because I believe in you. And I'm not a loser. I'm not saying you guys are either, but I'm saying that I have consistency in my life enough to know that I don't feel like a fucking loser anymore. Because I'm consistent with the shit that I know I need to do, man. Like, I actually love myself. I tell myself the truth. I do the things I need to do. I get in uncomfortable situations and get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because that's what it's taken for me personally to get to the point where I can actually fucking function in life. Because otherwise I used to just do nothing but run away. That was all I did. Run away, run away, run away. And I'll drive this whole point home over and over again. I really don't care whether or not you're theological or whether or not you believe in God or not or anything like that. If you believe in the universe, if you believe in karma, if you believe in whatever. But I'm not going to let you sit here and tell me that you think that God or the universe was just brought into creation or anything like that and has managed to function how it has for as long as it has with all this perfect balances everywhere, and have you try to tell me that you're the fuck up, that you're the one thing that is out of balance and isn't going to work. Because, you know, I've been told a lot on social media, especially with those videos that went viral recently, that I need to be more humble. And most of the time I've been told I needed to be more humble, it was because I told some hater that they should fucking probably keep their opinions to themselves and that nobody cares. Which, it's weird that somebody can scream at you to be humble, because that's definitely not a humble thing to do. At any rate, though, I've had to learn that really, what the fuck was I said before the TikTok haters I was talking about? When I'm doing two things at once, I'm not great at this shit. That it's just, I mean, straight up, like, just you just got to do it, guys. Like, I mean, I don't know how else to say this. I don't know that there's a more, like, profound way I can tell you to just fucking take some action on yourself, man. Like, fucking love yourself. Like, that's what I was saying. It was like, you can't tell me that you're a fucking mistake. Like, that is so fucking egotistical to imply that you, out of all the fucking things that God has ever created, is the one fucking thing that's fucked up. Like, he was just like, oops, hope nobody sees that shit. You know, fucking hope nobody ever fucking meets Justin Hadlock, because I done fucked that one all the way up, dog. That's ridiculous. And I hope this message really does reach somebody who is like sitting in, you know, in a fucking trap house or sitting somewhere right now, just hoping that their next minute is going to be the last one that they fucking live because they can't stand it anymore. Because a message like this reached me in a similar position several times in my life, and it might have taken years for it to finally kick in. But when it did, it hit like a fucking ton of bricks. Like, it was like, all of a sudden I was like, you know what, man, fuck. I'm not a mistake. I do have value. I do, you know, it is okay for me to want to do better in my life. And that doesn't make me an egotist, or it doesn't make me some kind of fucking selfish person. Wanting to do better in life is something absolutely that is one of the least selfish things I've ever seen in my life, because it inspires people around you. And the idea that you should not live a life that inspires people around you is more egotistical fucking bullshit. You are affecting people around you at all times, whether or not you want to admit it, and you need to get your fucking shit straight so you can quit pretending like that's not the case. And once you start doing that, you'll notice that people have been looking up to you all over the fucking place, and that your lack of follow through is hurting them, and it continues to hurt them. So, I ask you again, what today are you not doing in your life? And what can you do to take action on that one thing? Because I'm here to tell you, even if you don't believe in yourself, I fucking believe in you. And I mean, really, when it comes down to it, that's the reality that we have to address there, is that why don't you believe in you? Why is it that I believe in you more than you believe in you? I can't want something, I can't want you to succeed into succeeding yourself. You literally have to actually do that work yourself. And I'm super glad that God made it that way in our world, in our life, because frankly, I've never respected anything I didn't have to earn. Not once in my life have I been given something that I treated it with respect. Outside of, at this point in time, my life. I was given my life, didn't ask for it. My parents fucking decided, I guess, a tree house or some shit was a good place to fuck, and here I am. I'm not joking, that's actually real. Now here I am, and you know, I don't like looking at it anymore like I'm a mistake, man. There is a fucking me-shaped hole somewhere in this world, and it's right where I stand at this very moment, that is needing me to fill and be my best version of myself. And yours might not be so fucking brazen as me, you know, walking around with face tattoos, walking around and, you know, telling people like, why do I believe in you more than you do? But I'm here to tell you that you have somebody that you might not even fucking know, that is profoundly impacted by you, that is living a current life situation that is somewhat similar to what you're going through or have been through, and they're looking up at you and you don't even know it. And every time you choose not to share about that, not to be part of your own growth, and to tell yourself it's okay to love you and bring the best of you to the table, you're hurting them, and you're hurting the people around you, and you're hurting you. So the last question we're gonna ask real quick, because this is super simple, and then I'm gonna tattoo this, but is, if you imagine yourself in life with the best version of you, best dad, best mom, best whatever it is, best brother, best employee, best artist, best thing that you can be, putting in the best efforts all the time. And imagine how fucking profound that world would be if you brought that you to the table every time. Now I want you to imagine a world without that version of you. And then tell me once again that not trying to do all that shit is somehow fucking being humble or something like that. Really, it's a lack of humility for understanding how fucking powerful of an impact you have on people. Big love. I'll talk to you all soon. And just like Lacey says, we are all made on purpose for a purpose. For real. Love you.